Hello, everyone. My name is Lexi, and this is a Sincerely Self podcast. Today, I'm with Self Low. Dude, you're the first person I've recorded with. Literally.
I'm the first guest.
You're the first guest.
I'm honored. I'm a huge fan. I listen
fan.
every single week.
Oh,
I
queen.
downloaded Spotify. I'm an Apple Music user, and I downloaded
And you got Spotify.
Yes.
That's amazing.
What you and Caller Daddy are my top podcasts. You're up there with Alex.
You have your priorities straight, is all I have to say.
I do. I really do. Thank you for having me. I feel really honored to be here.
Of course. So we're focusing this episode kind of on individuality, especially in your 20s, like early 20s, because I feel like it's so hard to kind of figure out who you are, that kind of thing. So say a little bit about your little trip to London, like when you went abroad, what you went abroad for, all of that.
Yes. Okay, so I have to preface, I was going to University of Utah beginning of this year, and my mental health was at an all-time low. And I thought it was smartest to move home and like get my mental health back in order to be close to a really good support system. And so I moved back home to Logan, and I went fully online, University of Utah. And my mom was like, you should do study abroad this summer, out of nowhere. And I was like, Mom, that's not the best idea. She kind of wouldn't let it down. She wouldn't let the idea down. So I was like, you know what? What do I have to lose? I'm going to go. So we found a program through University of Utah, and it was just right up my alley. It was studying criminal law and human rights, in which it was amazing. And so I signed up. I got all ready to go, and I left the first week of July, and I was there for a month. And this is so cheesy, but it was life-changing. It completely changed my life. I had a pretty rough 2 years before I left. Just my depression was really bad, and I was just going through a lot of things. And so being on my own in a completely different country, I think healed so many parts of me that were broken from the past 2 years. Being completely on my own like that sounded scary, but the moment I went through TSA to my gate, it was like, it felt so right. It was incredible. It felt so right when I was there the whole time. I met the most amazing people. I studied with some of the most incredible professors on this planet. They were incredible. I got to like feel myself again, if that makes sense. I think I lost myself a lot throughout the past 2 years. And so being back in London, I was learning about these things that I'm so passionate about. And it just was amazing. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you say like you came back a completely different person?
Yes.
Yeah.
110%. Yeah. I think the moment I got there, it felt like the past 2 year me, if that makes sense, like completely shut off. And I'm a completely different person now since I've been. Yes.
Yeah. I like just love that whole experience because I feel like there has to be something that just shit hits the fan. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like things go so wrong. Everything is just falling out of place. And then some random opportunity always comes up.
100%.
And it's always something you are super scared about, super uncomfortable, but it's always the most like life-changing thing.
Yes. Because when my mom mentioned it, I was so against it. Because I was like, I think that's going to make things worse for me.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad she pushed me to do it and get me out of my comfort zone. And it was great. It was great.
Yeah. Yes. And I feel like it's instinctual to like want to stay home, like find comfort in like what you already know. It's so hard to like actually go out and like do the thing.
Oh, because I was so comfortable. I was living in my parents' basement. Shout out my parents. But really, I was so comfortable, which I needed that in that time.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think I was ever meant to just be in my parents' basement my whole life.
Oh, yeah.
And so my mom pushing me, and she knows my full potential. It just, exactly what you said.
Yeah.
It's just like, I was so comfortable, and I was going nowhere. And I think that's why I was so depressed, because I wasn't putting myself out there. I wasn't doing anything that I liked necessarily. So many things, but once I just put myself out there and I took that leap of faith, it really did change my life. When I was there, the time difference was so different. So I wasn't really talking to anyone at home. And that I think played a huge part in it, where I didn't have like my parents and my brothers and my family, my friends to depend on for like my opinions or my thoughts. I really got to create this new version of myself there without any outside noise.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
it was all you. That
It was
all you, bro.
me. Having that opportunity of London, I feel like after that, I've had so many things fall into place like that. Yeah.
It's like once you're aligned with where you're supposed to go, you can feel it.
Yes.
Like you glow differently. I'm sure you've had people point out like you look like you're doing so good, you're glowing, that kind of thing. Like once you start pursuing what makes you happy, once you figure out what that is, it's like all the opportunities fall into place.
It really does.
How much has it changed, like from living at home in your parents' basement where that was your comfort to now living with your best friends?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like how has that been?
I will say, because of London, I think I've become so comfortable with being by myself and being so independent.
Oh yeah.
That living on my own, it has been so beneficial because I'm taking care of myself way better than I was when I was living with my parents, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But living with my best friends has been the best experience because I think we're all on the same journey right now.
Oh yeah.
Where we all feel like we had these rough couple of years before. We were super lost, whatever the case may be. But now that we're all here together, we're all working together to be these like very independent, hardworking, nice, beautiful people. But together, it's been the best experience. Yeah.
And having this strong support system, because I feel like sometimes people get in those situations, but not with the people they're aligned with, like the people who can support them to the way they need, you know?
Oh, 100%.
And so having
100%.
like people that are also dedicated to becoming their best selves, you know, also like hyping you up, keeping you in check, making sure you're working on yourself too, like it completely changes the game.
Oh,
because you feel so much more motivated to like work on yourself, because it's like they're doing it too, like it makes it fun.
Yes,
like
it's
we're
so
all just
fun.
doing it.
We're all silly little girls
just trying to be hardworking girls.
I agree. The funnest thing about living with my friends now is we've been through so many stages of life together.
Yeah. Like, how long have you guys been friends for?
This is my friend Anna. We just celebrated her birthday 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and it's been 10 years. We've been friends for 10 years. And then my other friends, Maddie and Liv, we've been friends since we were children. Like I've known Maddie and Liv since forever. So we've gone through so many stages together, and I've noticed that being close to them again, because there was a time where I was really distant from them. Like we really weren't that close. I was living in Salt Lake. They were doing their own thing.
Yeah, different stages.
But now that we're back together, the amount of support and love I feel from them is like incredible. But it's also so nice because we're also still making mistakes.
Yeah, you're still human, and you're all understanding of that.
Because figuring out who you are at this age, you're messing up hard all the time. And there was actually this situation the other week where one of my roommates and I, something happened, and it was just like this conflict, and I was at fault for some things, and I just apologized, and we talked through it, and things like that, where we can be accepting of each other's mistakes and just move on, because at the end of the day, we're not perfect, and I'm learning, she's learning how to navigate adult relationships and friendships. Yeah. But having those, you know, that support system of, I know you did something wrong, but I just want to help you and be a better person. Yeah. It's been such a great experience. Yeah. So we're all just building off of one another. It's incredible.
That is so fun. Yeah. And I think that's a perfect example, because I've talked about so much. Friendships will go through phases. Yeah. And people grow apart. And I'm always like, sometimes you fall back together with people, because sometimes you do. And those long friendships, those lifelong ones, because I have a couple that are like that too, where you are distant for a few years. And then when you come back, it's like you notice the growth in each other. Like the arguments are so different. Like so different. It gets handled so differently. Yeah. And like, I think it's so fun to see that like, it really is beneficial to step back from friendships sometimes. It is. Grow. Because it's like, if you're on different paths, you need to go through those things.
I think as an adult, you are, well, now that I've been in my 20s, I've lost so many friends.
It's crazy the switch up. Like the
I've
switch up
lost so many
from,
people.
honestly, it starts, I feel like, when you graduate high school. Like,
Yep, the moment.
even a couple months after I graduated high school, I felt like I was a different person. Did you feel the same?
Yeah.
Like right after you leave there, it is the craziest like switch up, and that's just kind of where it starts. And then you hit 20, and then it's like even worse.
It gets crazy. It
Yeah.
gets so crazy.
Uh-huh.
But I think now that I've had so much time alone and I am so independent, I'm not insecure about losing people.
Yeah.
And if we never talk again, that's fine.
It's
That's okay.
All right.
But like that doesn't determine me as a person now, and that doesn't determine them. Like
Yeah.
I'm only 21. Like I'm still a child.
Yeah, literally.
Like. Well, you're 21, right?
In the comparison to like how much longer we have in life,
Yes.
we're only 21. Like we
Yes.
have so much life. Like we don't know everything yet.
Since I've been losing friends, I always think this version of myself wasn't correlating with them. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because honestly, in like 5 to 6 years, if I cross paths with them again, I'll probably be way more wiser, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, we'll see. But like I will be a way better and different version of myself that I hope maybe will correlate with them.
Yeah.
But if not, it's fine. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, losing friends isn't as scary as it was before I left for London.
Oh yeah.
Because before I left for London and I didn't have this sense of independence, things like this would give me so much anxiety.
And I feel like we all go through that stage where like everything is an attack on us as a person.
Yeah.
Especially like fallouts with people or people not liking us.
Yes.
But it's like once you reach that point where, and usually it's after things go wrong. Like
yes,
your life falls apart, you go through some big event.
Every time.
And then you come back and you're like so secure in yourself.
Yes.
And you don't take things personal.
Exactly. I've had to learn it the hard way. I think I've had like, it feels like 10 friend breakups this year. But I think it just comes to show like, but they've happened after London.
Which is very notable because you view that as like such a life-changing event for you. Like you came back such a version of yourself that you wanted to be, you know, closer to your higher self that you're like everyone's working towards, you know?
Yes.
And so with them not resonating with you when you come back from something like that, it's like,
yeah, I think I just don't have the patience anymore to keep up with these relationships that don't add to my life.
Yeah.
Like coming back from London, I feel like I'm on my shit again. Like I'm in school. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want in life. I know what I want. Well, I mostly know what I want with my life right now.
Yeah.
I know what I want in relationships. I know what I want in friendships. I know how I want to spend my time, how I don't want to spend my time. So I'm fine to make those boundaries. And it doesn't feel rude. It feels like that's okay. It's not rude to put myself first. You know?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. If you're just setting a boundary because you're just trying to, create a space that makes you feel comfortable, but it's so easy to feel that way.
Yes.
It's so easy to feel like I'm doing something wrong, like this is rude, especially if they react in a not good way. But being able to be like, I'm not in control of how other people like react to my boundaries is a game changer.
It is. It's such a game changer, which I've learned that through therapy.
Yep.
I was going to say therapy is
a big
huge game changer.
Yeah.
Which is something I highly recommend for anyone listening who, if you feel super, super lost right now, therapy is a game changer because I feel like that person is on your side, even if they're giving you like this constructive criticism that sounds rude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Their goal is to help you feel better. Their goal is to like help you better yourself too. So, and they're getting paid to tell you the truth.
So since all these friend breakups, I think if I weren't in therapy and if I didn't go to London, I don't know what would have happened. But since then, I feel like I have the tools now to just be like, this isn't working out for this reason and this reason, but that doesn't determine me as a person and that doesn't determine them as a person.
Oh, yeah.
It just doesn't work right now, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I love therapy.
Yeah, therapy in your like late teens, early 20s, especially, I feel like is so game changing because this period of time feels very lonely because you're just trying to figure out who you are.
Yes.
And if you're very dependent, viewing yourself from other people's perspective, being lonely is awful at
It
that point in
sucks.
time.
Yes, it's awful.
And so having a therapist to kind of tell you like it's normal to feel this way, and having someone so it doesn't feel so lonely, I feel like the growth is so amplified. It's so amplified.
100%. Yeah. And since I've been super independent after London, I spend a lot of time alone in my room, that is my safe, happy place, is being alone in my room, watching the Kardashians, whatever it may be. But it does get lonely. Like, SZA talks about it in one of her songs where she's like, I'm trying to grow without hating the process.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like, as much as I feel confident now in my growth and in my independence, it does get so lonely. Because I'm like sometimes sitting in my room and I'm like, okay, I feel like I've replayed every scenario of my life a million times. Like, okay, can I just give myself a break now? And can I have friends around me that feel the same way? Or I always think like, am I the only 21-year-old who hangs out in her room?
Yeah, and
on
it's
Friday
like
nights
so
alone.
seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, I
and
feel like I'm the only one.
Yeah, so comfortable being by yourself. It does reach a point, I feel like, in the growth process where you are hyper independent and it becomes so lonely because you just are so comfortable with being alone that you're like, I'll just be by myself, you know? Because you're like,
Yes.
I am only 21. Like, I see all of my friends, all of my, you know, acquaintances out partying on a Friday night. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
but I want to be with people.
Yeah,
I don't want to be in my room.
I know finding people now that I've set really big boundaries in my life is so hard. But it's been like, okay, now where do I find these people? Because I feel like they're nowhere. And I feel lonely too because now that I've become so hyper independent, I don't want to depend on anyone until I'm perfect.
Yeah.
So like everyone my age is getting married.
Yep.
Especially if like here in Utah,
everyone's getting married. We're 21.
Yes.
You're falling behind if you're 21 and you don't even have like a boyfriend yet.
Yes.
Like you don't even like you're not even planning an engagement yet. You're falling behind.
Literally. And I do not want a boyfriend for the longest time. I do not want a boyfriend. I do not want someone until I find the perfect person for me. And I want to be the most perfect version of myself for my partner.
Yes.
So, like, it's been so lonely in that instance, too, where I'm like, I feel like I should have a boyfriend and I feel like I should have this huge roster of people to, like, be going out on dates with. But I'm like, I'd rather die than go on a date right now.
That's how I feel.
I'd rather die. Yeah. I'd rather chew glass.
Literally, to be quite honest. But I feel like not enough people talk about that. Like when you have healed or you're going through your healing process, that's what you're dedicated to. You're very hyper independent. You don't need external validation anymore.
Yes.
You're comfortable in yourself and you know exactly what you want in a partner. When you're to that point, it's so hard to actually find it, especially in your 20s.
Oh, it's so hard.
Because everyone's making mistakes. Everyone's going through it. Some people are also dedicated to that and ready, but some people are more dedicated to just like the external things, the superficial things, which is totally fine, you know, because we're in our 20s.
Yes.
But at this age, it's so hard.
It is so hard. I know. Because I do want for every person in their 20s to go through this independent stage.
Oh, I think it's detrimental to figuring out who you are. I feel like that's what the 20s are for.
Yes. But then once everyone is starting to do that, it feels like everyone's closed off now. So I'm like, how in the hell am I going to meet my person if they're doing the same thing?
If they're protecting their peace too, like if we're all doing it too much.
So that's where it's so hard. Like I was talking to my dad about this last night, actually. I was like, how am I really going to find my person when I am in my healing stage still and I'm protecting my peace? I'm staying away from as many men as possible. Not trying to bag on men our age, but like just with my experience, like I just don't feel like any man is capable of having me yet.
Yes.
And that sounds conceited, but it's just.
But to be honest, like everyone should feel that way about themselves.
Yes.
If you know exactly what you want, I think a really beneficial thing is like, I don't know if you've done this, you probably have, like writing down what you want in a partner.
Oh, have I? Oh my gosh.
I feel like it is a game changer because once you see it all on paper, it's not unrealistic, because if you want it and you have those traits in yourself, then it's possible. You know what I mean?
100%.
But it's so, yeah, it's so hard. Everyone makes it seem that like if you have high standards, you're kind of stuck up and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And it's like, no, I know my worth.
Love myself.
I love myself. I know how
Yeah.
much I've worked on myself to get where I am. Like,
Yes.
I'm not trying to just give it to anybody.
No. And I heard this quote forever ago. I think it was on the Oprah Winfrey show.
Love Oprah.
I forgot who she was interviewing, but the lady said, "You will know that you are in the right place when you stop betraying yourself." Yeah. And I live my life by that now, which I will say I'm not perfect, because there's times where like I will be in a situation that I know isn't healthy for me. And I'm like, okay, Sophia, wait, no, this is bad for you. So I'm not perfect, but I have been living my life like that lately, where, again, with dating, I'm like, I'm not going to go on a date with someone who I know doesn't live up to my standards.
Yeah, or like isn't aligned with your values. Like, we're not looking for the same things. We're not cherishing the same things in a relationship. Like, it's not going to work. Why am I going to waste my time with this?
And it's same with friends too.
Yes, same with friends.
Like, since I joined a sorority this semester, which has been like, shout out Alpha Chi Omega.
Shout out.
Shout out to my sisters. But since I've joined Alpha Chi and I've made all these new friends, like I've set boundaries with, like, those boundaries that I've set. I feel like those people that I've now become really good friends with, lifelong friends with, they hold those values and they hold those standards, because I was like so straight up with them. Like, I was like, this is what I want in friendships. If you're not going to give it to me, I'm like not going to be close with you.
Yeah. So, and like, that's fine. Like, if you have different things you want, it's just like, that's not what I'm aligned with. Like, I know what I want. And I feel like a big life lesson that we've definitely both learned at this point is it's totally normal to have a smaller circle. And it's so much better to have a small circle with good people. Yeah. Good support system than a lot of friends who's really there for you. You know?
Period. Yep. I know. I think I can now say I have 10 close friends, but half of them live in different states. Like, I don't really even talk to them. Like, but half of those people I met in London, like, those are my really close friends, you know? But yeah, I totally agree. The smaller the circle, the better.
So much better.
Yeah. Yeah, and for sure.
Yeah, it's hard at first. Like, when you watch all of these people, especially the ones who were your closest friends at one point, to see like, oh, we don't even talk anymore. Yeah. It's really eye-opening to see.
I know. It really is. Yeah. I know. And the people that have stayed so true to me throughout all of these years, I'm still friends with. Like, the girls that I live with, they've had my back for years. And I trust them with my life. But I genuinely do, because they've shown me through actions. Like, through certain situations, they're still there because of, like, I know that they have the same values as me. And I know that I can trust them, you know? But the other people that I was friends with, like, in high school, seeing how, like, we don't talk anymore, I'm like, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, like, it totally makes sense why we're not talking anymore. Oh, yeah. Which is fine. And I love them still. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, I get why we're not talking. Yeah. And it's okay. Yeah. We're just on a different path.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Sometimes I feel like I talk about this and some people take it a little bit too harsh. Like, when you're not close to someone anymore, it's not saying that you're better than them or anything like that. It's just sometimes people are prioritizing different things. And that's fine. Like, sometimes we're on different life paths, and that's fine. Like, yeah, like you said, no hate to your high school friends. Yeah. No hate, anything like that. It's just we're on different paths. We're doing different things.
I know. Yeah. I just had this friend break up, actually, like, recently. And the way that we left off, that shows me that, like, it kind of shows me that she understands that part of it. Is like, we're just not on the same path. But I love you. And I, like, will hope the best for you. It ended amazingly for a friend breakup. Like, it really did.
Friend breakups get so much less messy, I've noticed, the more self-aware you get.
Since I've been in therapy and since I've been nicer to myself, and the more I have, like, this independent, confident version of me, I give so much grace to people now. Yeah. Even through the friend breakups. Like, if anything, if I'm not a good person in your life for you, I don't want to be in your
Yeah,
life.
like I don't want to put that hindrance on you
Yeah.
either. Like,
Yes. I
yeah,
don't want to
that's
be a burden in your life
yeah,
either.
that's the big thing with friend breakups is like if I'm not resonating with you, like if our values aren't aligned, that's affecting me and you. If we have to create that distance and not be in each other's lives, it's for the
Yes.
benefit of us
Both.
Like
Yes.
it's like I'm looking out for you and me because I care about you. And even if we're not
Yes.
serving each other's life right now, it's like, you know, maybe we'll rekindle like you did with your friends. You know,
Yes.
sometimes it happens, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't.
I feel like I've gone through the ringer the past 2 years. I really feel like I have. And I now, if I were having this type of growth last year and I was looking at relationships, I would be so bitter. I'd be like, I want them to have all the bad karma happen to
The
them.
victim mindset. It's so easy to fall into that when bad things do happen, like, or anything like that, any argument, it's so easy to fall into that.
Yes. But now it's like, I just have a completely different mindset of people who have done me really wrong. I'm like, I just take out the good parts of it. I'm like, thank you for teaching me this lesson because I'm who I am today because of it.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't really wish poorly on people now. Because I'm like, that's such a waste of my time and energy. If anything, I'm just like, I hope you do well.
Yeah.
Because if I'm able to make mistakes and if I'm able to grow into this new beautiful person, I want to give that same type of energy to everyone in my life that comes into it, even if they've done me wrong.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like I'm at right now. Is like I can just, when I'm in my room by myself thinking about whatever it may be, I have just so much grace and peace with the past because I can't change it.
Yeah.
I cannot change it. But there's so much power in that. Like, I have what I can change right now. I can change myself right now.
Yeah.
That's so peaceful.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
Knowing that I can't do anything about the past. I can only influence the future with what I do right now. Like, the only thing that we really can control is us in this moment. And yeah, it is so peaceful realizing that, like, I don't need to worry about things that have happened before or things that haven't happened yet.
Yes.
Because being stuck in that place where you're not in the present moment, you're constantly in the past or the future, is so stressful.
Oh, it's the worst.
So easy to fall into those bad, like, toxic habits of victim mindset, like all those things. So when you're able to just be like, I only have here and now, it's peaceful.
And that's what I'm working on right now. Is I'm just like, I want to be, that's my New Year's resolution actually.
Slay.
2024. I want to be so present when I'm sitting with my dad and we're talking and just being there and not really stressing about the future or stressing about what I said in the past. Or like right now, like just talking. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be in the present. And I think that's where things really start to work out for you.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's a cool goal to have. And it is a hard goal too.
It's so hard.
Being present is hard, especially like at this stage of life. There's so much going on. Some people are getting married. Some people are in college. Some people are graduating. This is such like a big part of life.
Yes.
And like being able to find comfort in knowing like, I'm just going to worry about today. Like, I'm just going to worry about today. I'm just going to worry about right now and show up as my best self to make the future a little bit easier.
Yes.
But that's so fun.
I know. That's like my next step. So
the next step.
I'll let y'all know how it goes.
Yeah, how 2024 goes.
I feel very healed from this conversation.
Same.
Too.
I'm so glad you came today. I'm so glad I finally had a guest on here. I've been saying that for so long. And I finally did it.
You did.
Soph is here.
I'm here. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
But this is the best podcast. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, of course.
I'm like a #1 fan. I'm one of your #1 listeners.
Queen.
So I'm
That's
honored
amazing.
to be your first guest.
Yes. If you guys are listening to this episode, make sure to go on and give it 5 stars.
Yes.
Comment down below something that you're going to work on in 2024.
Yes.
Soph is working on being more present.
What are you going to work on?
I'm working on being more self-aware.
Ooh,
I've been recognizing falling back into some of my toxic habits, things like that. So I'm just working on keeping myself more in check in 2024.
I love it.
That's my goal.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I can't wait to see.
I know. Look at us setting big goals. We got it, though. We got it. So let us know what your goals are.
Yes.
If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and give it a like. Also comment what your resolution is. I'll put her Instagram. Soph, also, you've been doing dance lessons.
I have.
I need to go.
You need to come.
Yeah.
If you live in Logan, I teach not right now because fall semester's over and no one's home right now. But once spring semester starts, I teach every Tuesday and Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. at Soul Fitness.
So pull up if you live
It's
in
a
Logan.
great time.
Yeah, come to her dance lessons. It'll be so much fun. I hope everyone has a great Christmas because this is probably going to be the last episode before Christmas.
Oh,
which
Merry
is so
Christmas,
fun. Merry
listeners.
Christmas, everyone. Have a happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yes, and I will see you guys next week.